Judgment has been reserved in the DA's legal battle against President Cyril Ramaphosa over his address to the nation on the 26th of May, just 2 days before the general elections. Yesterday, the party argued in the Electoral Court that the president had abused his powers and public funds in order to garner more votes for the ANC. Counsel, on behalf of the president in his capacity as head of state, submitted that the former opposition party did not properly interpret the provisions of the legislation on which the party has relied. Let's now welcome political analyst Dr. Levy Ndou to further unpack this issue. So, Doctor, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us. So, what is your general assessment as well as take on this matter? Is there still a point to even pursue this case, especially in light of the new relationship within the GNU?
Good afternoon, Alicia. Good afternoon to the viewers at home. Indeed, we had very tense elections a few months ago, and everything that political parties were doing would be closely monitored by other political parties. And when the president had to address the nation, there are most people who said it appears as if the president could actually be trying his best to use this opportunity to campaign for his party. But at the same time, you have some who would say the president is actually talking to the nation in order to conscientize these people about what government has been doing and to remind them that there are elections that are coming. But I think now, to come to your question, because we've got the government of national unity, it does not necessarily mean that the Democratic Alliance is now an extension of the ANC. These two parties are still in competition, and we're actually going to observe that when the local government elections will be approaching. The different parties in the GNU still have to maintain their identities, look at their own objectives, have their own programs, and because they remain in a competition, there's always going to be ways and means to ensure that other parties are discredited in order for other parties to gain out of such activities.
And I mean, based on the merits of the case then, Doctor, what do you then predict or foresee as the possible outcome in this matter?
It will be difficult to tell. I think colleagues in the legal fraternity could be able to share some light. But I think there are only two things that should be clarified. Firstly, as to whether the president indeed campaigned or spoke in a manner that will justify that he campaigned for his party, the ANC, or indeed the president was actually only using this opportunity to provide a report back on what government has been doing and also to conscientize people about the elections. And those, in my view, are only two areas that are supposed to be looked at.
Absolutely. And in closing, a very quick one, Doctor. I mean, let's say now the court actually rules in favor of indeed the DA. Do you see this also causing some tension in the current relationship long term between the DA as well as Cyril Ramaphosa?
We need to acknowledge that the DA raised this matter before the formation of the government of national unity. And it was not only the DA which raised this matter. Other people, even though they might not have taken it to court, they also raised concern about that address. My view is that it will also be a lesson for future purposes that you need to be very, very careful when you're approaching elections, because whatever behavior that might portray, it can be interpreted in many different ways, and it could have negative implications on yourself and your party.